Okay, let me just first say really fast, Ricky Carruth. He often talks about his weekly email. Ricky Carruth, RITKYCARRUTH. You can look him up on YouTube. He's got tons of videos, and you can search him for the weekly email. And so this is for Nikki. Staying top of mind after we connect, besides just calling. So Ricky Carruth has a weekly email he sends. It's like market, what's happening in the market in his area in Orange Beach, Alabama, and maybe pictures and maybe just a couple of events or whatever. So sending out a mass email to nurture those people, but that's not really a campaign. I do have my Sphere campaign, so I'm gonna kind of go through my YouTube channel, actually go back to my YouTube and show you where you can find stuff about campaigns. And we're going to do one together, so don't worry. I just want to make sure I point you in these resources. So here I'm at my YouTube channel, and I'm just going to type in campaign. Boop. So I have some resources here: creating a campaign from scratch, customizing, modifying, and mastering campaigns in kvCore, intro to customized campaigns in kvCore, how to create, modify, and activate a Sphere campaign in kvCore. But let's talk about what you really want to know. And that is about modifying a campaign, customizing campaigns, using hashtags to trigger a campaign. And I'm kind of saying all that together because it might mesh together. So I'm gonna create a campaign right now. Let's say that I want to create a new buyer campaign. And maybe this one is specific to those leads that I get from Facebook. Okay, so that's what I want to create. And so I'm going to take this default prospect buyer campaign. I'm going to open this baby up, and this is still in the library. And I want to take this campaign. I want to do something completely different with it. Okay, or modified with it. So I'm just going to click here on clone. All right, and I'm going to clone this. I'm going to say next, and I'm just gonna copy, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna modify. I'm just putting this in my own modify for me so that I know it's what to look for, and I'm gonna clone that campaign. Okay, and I am gonna go here to all campaigns. I'm gonna find my campaign that I just cloned because that's the one I want to work on. There. See, I just did a search for that word. Ta-da, there it is. So there's my campaign. I just copied. It's not active, so I'm safe to just work in it. And so again, this is going to be a specific campaign for those people that I reach on Facebook. Okay. And so the first thing that I want to do is I want to think, well, what types of actions do I want these people to get? So imagine I post one of my listings on Facebook and I boost the listing, or maybe it's a colleague, and I boost their listing on Facebook, and I pay $5 or whatever, and I get a few leads from it. And I want those people not just to get my regular default buyer campaign. I want them to get something special. I want them to feel that I'm connecting with them. I want them to feel like I know who they are, and I want to call them out. Okay. So what's great about custom campaigns is that in custom campaigns, you really can tailor it to a specific audience. You can maybe create more familiarity quicker than just with a regular default campaign, because you're showing this lead how you're connected to them. And so maybe you're going to build that trust sooner than later. So that's the purpose of it. All right. So I've got this default campaign I'm ready to modify. And I've got these actions, and I can look at them and see what there is. Okay, so there's this first text, and it says, hey, are you looking for a specific type of property? You're looking for something in particular. I mean, that's fine, but I don't love it. Do you own a home locally? I mean, that's fine. That's, a good question. This one's offering a property tour. And it's, I used to make fun of this email, honestly, because it says, I've got some free time in my calendar this weekend if you want to meet up and tour 2 or 3 properties. And I used to think, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. I'm deleting that because I don't know if I want to meet them and blah, blah, blah. I'm deleting that. But then I thought, that's silly. I mean, what if they say, yes, I would like to look at properties? Well, great. If they respond, then I can start a conversation. I can decide if I'm ready to meet with them or if I have time on my calendar, or find out if they're pre-approved or not. Why delete that? Maybe, so I leave that now. Anyway, so you can look at what's being sent and you can decide how you can modify this. Or if you can just maybe delete all of these actions and put in all new actions. I don't know, but let's start. So the first thing you would do is create some actions that you wanted to put in here. Okay. And so I already have a email, but I'm going to show you how to create one. And I have a text, but I'm going to show you how to create one. So we're going to just create something new. All right, so I want to create, let's see, a different text message. So I'm going to go here to SMS template because I want a new text message to go out. And so you guys, I'm just going to, for my own notes, so I can remember to maybe either use this later, change this later, delete this later, because I'm doing this for training. And I have so much stuff in my kvCore already to muddy it up. I'm just going to put a special note for myself. So you'll have to excuse me there. But I'm going to put this template name that says, I'm going to do FB buyer text number 1. And then this is just for my, I'm just putting this little test thing for myself, just so I can go back and decide if I'm going to delete this or whatever later. All right, so I can find it. So FB buyer text 1. So now I'm going to create some new content. And what do I want to say to this person? I'm going to say, hi, so-and-so. And I want whatever their name is, when I generate that lead from Facebook, it's likely that when that person clicks on that property from Facebook, that they'll log in with Facebook because they're given the option. Do you want to log in with email? Do you want to log in with Google? And do you want to log in with Facebook? And because they're already on Facebook, it's likely they'll just say continue with Facebook, and you're going to get whatever their first name is that's on Facebook. Okay. And so I want that text message to say their first name for me automatically. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to use what's called a merge tag. And so to get the merge tag, I have to find the little curvy bracket. So I have to hit my shift key and then find the curvy bracket. And then it's going to give me this drop down menu. And so of these different merge tags. And so I'm going to hit first name. Okay. And I'm going to say, hi, so-and-so. And then I'm going to say, I noticed you viewed a property posted on Facebook. I'll say that because that could be immediately on Facebook. I'm wondering if you have any real estate cues I can answer for you. Are you thinking of buying or selling soon? Question mark. So, whatever you want to say, whatever sounds like you, since whatever. Okay. And then you can put merge tags to fill in your information. So I'm going to put a merge tag. I'm going to put, let's see, agent full name, wherever that is, agent full name. And then I'm going to put, even though this is going to come from my own personal smart number, I'm still going to put my agent cell number, wherever that might be. And then I like to put my office name. My office name. Now, my office name is going to be whatever it shows your office name is on your website. So, for example, on my kvCore website, it shows EXP Realty in West Michigan. That's my office name. And so that's what's going to show up there on office name. Ta-da. Now, if you are using Core Video, and I don't have time to talk about this today, but you could insert a campaign video that's going to be in there if you have upgraded to the Core Video. All right, but we're not going to talk about that now. And I'm going to add the template. Okay, so that's a text message that's going to go out. And I could create several different text messages if I want to. that's going to be included in this campaign. But for time's sake, I'm just going to show you that one. Okay. Now let's create an email. All right. Let's create an add template email. And we're going to do FB email number 1. I'm just calling it. So I've heard of the FB buyer. FB buyer text 1, and then I have FB buyer email 1. So I'm just giving the template a name so I can identify it. And I like putting things in the order that I'm going to put them on in my campaign. So if I have like several texts or several emails, I have them in order. And so, so now this is the email they're going to get. And I want them to see the subject line, and I want them to know immediately what it is that I'm emailing about. Okay. I'm the type of person, I think about myself as a consumer. You know, if somebody emails me or calls me or texts me, I want to know what the heck they want me for, because I'm busy and I get a lot of things. Like the worst thing for me is if you text me on Facebook or Facebook message me and say, how are you? Like, I won't respond. Like, what do you want? You know, so I want to, you know, I treat other people in the same way. Like, I want to tell them what I want or what this is about. So I give the subject line of something like this: about the property you viewed on Facebook. That's what I'm emailing you about. So, you know, that's what I'm emailing about. So if you are interested in that property, or if you have any interest in me at all, and you see about the property viewed on Facebook, you open that. That means maybe we have something here. Maybe you and I can be something together. You know, all right. So I just go ahead and say that you can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you about my personality. And so I want them to see that, hey, oh yeah, I clicked on that property on Facebook, and that's why this person's emailing me. Okay. So then I do the same thing. I'm going to say, hi, so-and-so. And you can say hello. You can say dear. You can say greetings. I don't know. I say hi. Hi, so-and-so. And again, merge tag. So I want to put a merge tag in there. I want the email to fill in the blank. So I'm going to say, click on this little star, insert merge tag, first name. Hi, first name. Okay. And I'm going to say, I noticed you viewed a property I posted on Facebook the other day. Are you thinking about buying or selling soon, or whatever? I don't know what you want to say here. Like, is there something particular you're looking for? What areas, you know, do you like just looking at houses? I don't know, just whatever you want to put in here. Be my guest. Okay. I'm just going to, just for time's sake, I'm keeping this simple just to show you how to do this, because you guys know what you want to say. All right. Maybe you even have scripts already. Like you know, I get a lot of people like, hey, can you build this campaign for me? I'm like, it's really kind of easy. You just got to know how to do it. You guys, if you can learn how to build a campaign and how the campaign works in kvCore, all your kvCore problems will be solved. I promise. Once you get a handle on how the campaigns work, how you can leverage these campaigns in kvCore to help you convert and help you feel more confident about even generating leads, because you know you've got campaigns to help you nurture, you will be like 98% of the way there with kvCore, and you will feel like a new person. And you won't feel like kvCore is so hard. I promise. All right, so I'm going to say something like this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then I'm going to have this toggle says include a signature. So whatever signatures in my agent profile will be automatically there. And I'm going to click add template. Okay, so maybe I've created, you know, several different emails that I'm going to use. I've got an email Facebook buyer email 1, email 2, email 3, whatever. I have Facebook text 1, 2, 3. I've got several. Maybe even have different tasks set. Like I've got task templates, you know, for myself. Hey, you know, I've created a task template to do something, you know, maybe message this person on Facebook. So maybe I'll do that one. So friend on Facebook. Okay, I'm going to put that friend on Facebook. friend or follow, put friend or follow. So this is, and I'm going to say friend or follow on Facebook. Find lead on Facebook and follow or friend. So this is just, I'm creating this template so that it's a task template. I'm going to add this to my campaign. So that's a task template I created. There are already task templates in there, but maybe there's nothing like that in there. And I can also have call templates. So there's, I can create a whole new call template, call the Facebook lead. I don't know, try to call them in Messenger, whatever floats your boat. You can create tasks for yourself. But again, I don't have time to go over all of that in detail. I'm giving you a push. Let's take that campaign that we're going to start and we're kind of going to change it up a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to go find it again. And I think I called it test, or no, I called it modify. There it is. I'm going to my library. There it is. There's my little campaign waiting for me to mold it and shape it into something beautiful. And I'm going to start with editing this. This is where it can get a little confusing if you don't know about hashtags and everything yet. This will unfold, okay? And so what I want to tell you is that I'm imagining that when I post a squeeze page or a landing page from kvCore onto Facebook, when I create this tool, this squeeze page or landing page, I'm going to be adding a hashtag to it. So a specific type of hashtag. So when that hashtag comes in with the lead, then it will be assigned to that lead and the hashtag will be there. And that's when the campaign is going to start. And so stick with me a little bit, because when I go over the next part of this, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. And I'm going to make my life real easy. And I'm going to say, you know what? I want this campaign to start when it sees a certain hashtag. And that's all I want. So I'm going to click on move to hashtag. Okay. That's all this campaign needs to know is like, campaign, you start when you see a certain hashtag. Okay. And I have, I'll do one hashtag I use a lot. It's called Facebook buyer. I'll go ahead and do that one. Facebook buyer. You could do FB buyer, whatever your little heart wants to do. That's the hashtag I'm going to personally use right now. And that's all I'm going to do here. I'm going to say, yep, there you go. And it's designed for a buyer, meaning somebody who clicked on a property to view. And I'm going to change the name of this. I'm going to call this FB buyer campaign. And then this is just, again, you guys, this is for me. I'm going to put test here so that this is for my training. And I'm probably going to delete this after because I already have this campaign or a version of this campaign. All right, so FB buyer campaign or Facebook buyer campaign. And then I'm going to put a description in here. This description is a note for me, the user, to remind me what the heck this is. And I'm going to say designed for Facebook buyer leads, activates when the hashtag Facebook buyer tag is present or added or whatever. Okay. So it's just, again, this is just a note for me. Me writing this description isn't dictating anything to kvCore. It's just telling me how this campaign is going to work. And then I'm going to say always run, yes, and next. And then now I'm going to edit this campaign. Okay, so I got that much done. I basically created the campaign logic. How is this campaign going to start? Well, it's going to start when it sees this hashtag. That's when it's going to start. If Facebook buyers added, it's going to start because that's the trigger. Next is we're going to create those actions. We're going to edit these actions. So I looked at this first one and this is fine. I'm probably going to leave this text message because it's fine. I could delete it if I wanted to. But what I am going to do is I'm going to add my own text message that I created. So I'm going to add this action. I'm going to find it. And it's a text that I created. And I'm going to find, I got to type the template here. FB buyer text 1. See, there it is. FB buyer text 1. That's mine. I can double check it. I can view it and make sure it's the one I wanted. And then I can even give it the name FB I can give it a name. I'm just going to give it the same template name here. You can name it whatever you want. You could say FB intro text, whatever your little heart desires to identify it. And I'm going to say, I want this to go immediately. As soon as I get that lead, they're going to get this text. If I get a phone number, I don't personally mandate phone numbers on my website. So if I don't get a phone number, they're not going to get this text. But if I do get a phone number, they will. Okay. Then I'm going to add another action. The action I'm going to add is an email. I want the email. The email is Facebook buyer email 1. And again, I'm going to click view the template to make sure it's the right one. Oh yeah, that's the one I created. Very good. Lovely. And I'm just going to name it the same thing, FB buyer email number 1. Again, I could name it anything I wanted. And I can even give it the subject line of about the property viewed on Facebook, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to say that I want this to happen on day 1. So this is going to happen the day after I get the lead. Or I could say I want this to go like an hour after I get the lead. But the way that I personally wrote this email, I said I noticed viewed the property I posted on Facebook the other day. So I want this to happen on day 1, which means it's the day after. So anytime you get a lead, that's day 0. Like if I get a lead right now, today's day 0. It's just like with inspection periods. Let's say I get something under contract today. Today's day 0. And then the effective date is 10 days from now, which day 1's tomorrow and the next day. So I think of today as day 0. So when I put day 1, that's going to start tomorrow. Okay. And so I'm going to add that. All right. So that's that. And then I like this email. This is another text message. Where is it? This initial text here. That's fine. But I don't want it to, I'm going to change the name of it. I'm going to say text number 2, just to, to clarify that. I can change that. And view the template. Okay, that's what it looks like. It says, I wanted to ask the other day after you visited the real estate website, are you actively shopping for a specific type of property or looking for something in particular? I'm going to put this on day 2, which is going to be the actually, the next day after they get that email. So it's going to come like 2 days after they get the first text. Okay, so I'm going to, I'm just modifying this. Again, if I didn't want that, I could just click this little X and it would delete, and it goes away, and then I can do something else. All right. Oh, the other action, I created a task. So I want to find that task I created. Facebook, what was it? Friend on Facebook, follow. Oh, friend or follow on Facebook. Friend on Facebook. I'm going to give it the name friend on Facebook. And so, I'm viewing this template. It's just, again, this is just going to come up as a task for me. Nothing's going to happen. It's just going to come up on my tasks to say, hey, do that if I really, want to. So I'm going to call this day 3. Day 3, I'm going to add that. Okay. So I've changed some stuff here. I've got, this first text going to go out, and then this email is going to go out the next day. And then this other text is going to go out the day after that. Then on day 3, this other email is going to go out. And also I'm going to get a task that tells me to do something. So you have to decide, do you want tasks? Because look at how I let mine go. You have to decide, do I want tasks? All right. And you can decide, do you want to keep these other things here? Do you want to delete them? Do you want to change them? What do you want to do with these? You have to decide those things. You can add a call task. Now there's another couple things about calls. I can add this call task, and look what I can do. I can click on call me. And what's going to happen is kvCore is going to call me, and then it's going to connect me to the lead. So it's going to initiate a call to me and then connect me to the lead. So I can say, well, I want kvCore to call me 7 times within the first 72 hours of giving this lead to get me to connect with them. So I don't even want to wait till I do my prospecting calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I want kvCore to just call me and within the first 3 days of me getting this lead so that I connect with them. If there's a phone number, I tried this, and some people love it, especially if you have a team and you're like giving people leads and they have a team platform, go for it, drive your agents crazy or drive yourself crazy, or just have it, or don't do that. It's up to you. You can just have a task reminder. So I have a task reminder I always use, and it is, let's see if I can find it. So I'm going to use this template, call and leave a voicemail. So I choose this template, call and leave a voicemail, and I can give this a name, call or email. What's your number? So I have a number, I have another email I created. It's an email template that I created. So anytime I have a lead that doesn't have a phone number, I just send them, hey, I noticed you checked out my website, you registered on my website recently, but I don't have your correct phone number. What's your correct phone number? I'd like to chat with you about your real estate needs or something like that, And so I can put that in as a task for myself and say, I want to do that, on day 5. Okay, whatever. I'm just coming up with stuff here just to give you examples. And then I can also, this campaign's going to go this way. I'm just going to leave the rest of these. These are fine. The rest of these are fine. I don't have anything else to put there. I am going to add this final thing though. Like I'm going to add, maybe I'm going to add a tag like on day 101. So on a tag, I'm going to add, old lead. I'm just put, I'm going to say old lead, add old lead tag. Okay, so I can say on day 101 is the day after the last touch. It's going to add this tag and maybe have an old lead campaign. So, ready to go. That's going to trigger automatically when this tag is automatically added as part of the campaign. Or I can add a status change. Like I could say, well, I want these people to just go into my sphere or become prospects at a certain day and time after this campaign's over. You could do that. Okay. Now, then in order for this campaign to go, you got to make it active. But wait, I have some questions for you. This is where it gets a little hairy. And the last step of this is to show you how to get these kind of leads to trigger this campaign. But before we go on, I want to ask a question. And before we activate this campaign, my question to you is, who are the types of leads that you think will get this campaign? Who wants to answer that question? Like, how are these leads going to come in? How are they going to be identified by kvCore? What statuses will they be in? And just to help you understand that a little more, I'm going to just open up my CRM and show you these different statuses. And I'm going to click on, and then I want you guys somebody to answer. So I'm going to click on filter here. So we've got sphere, prospects, new leads, active leads, clients, contract, close. And then the different types, lead types. We've got buyers, vendors, sellers, agents. So what kind of status and type is going to come in if I'm somebody who clicks on a property on your website and I register? How am I going to come in?
New lead.
New lead what? New lead what?
Buyer.
New lead buyer. Very good. New lead buyer is what's going to come on. So if I create a squeeze page and I post it on Facebook, and I get this lead, it's going to come in as a new lead buyer, no matter what hashtag I add to it. Okay. So danger am I running into if that happens? If it's just called a new lead buyer, and that campaign, that's the new campaign I'm creating, is going to trigger, is going to start running. What should I be worried about?
Is it going to use your other new buyer lead campaign?
Yeah. So I'm in danger of both campaigns running, and I don't want that. I don't want them to get my regular default buyer campaign and my Facebook buyer campaign, right? I don't want that. So I have to take another step, and that step is to tell my default buyer campaign not to run. So let's do that. I've already done it, but I'm gonna show you. So this is my default buyer campaign. And look at, see all these like little directions here to the campaign. This is like me giving directions to the campaigns. I'm gonna click on edit. This is my default buyer campaign. And so the way this campaign is set up is it's designed for a buyer, and it's gonna start when what? The status is a new lead for a buyer. But then I've got what's called additional triggers, these triggers. And the triggers can be a variety of things, okay? And in this case, I have, all these triggers telling this campaign that it's allowed to run when the status is a new lead buyer and when the hashtag is not any of these. So, hey, conversion default buyer campaign, you go on with your bad self, and when you see a new lead buyer, I want you to run. But if the hashtag is next door buyer, don't run. So run if the status is new lead and the hashtag is not next door buyer. If the hashtag is not any of these other things, see, I've got is not Facebook buyer, it's already there. So if you see this hashtag, you're not allowed to run. So I could change it and say if the hashtag is that, then you can run, but I don't want it to run. Or if the phone number is empty, I could create an email only campaign. Like, you can run only if the phone number is not there, so there's a variety of different types of triggers you can add. So you can, if the source is a certain thing, if the status is a certain thing, the hashtag is a certain thing. If there's an email, if there's no email, then you've maybe created a text campaign, a text only campaign. So you're going to tell this campaign it can only run if there's no email. So that's what triggers can do. It can tell a campaign to either run in this case or not run in this case. And for the purpose of my Facebook buyer campaign, I'm telling my default buyer campaign that it cannot run if it sees the Facebook buyer hashtag. Now, I've already created this, so I'm good. So I'm just going to hit next, next, next. Now I will remind you, and I gave a version of this last week, but I'll give you this version now on my resources page. Okay, that I've already given like 3 times during tonight. There's this link, SYLVIA'S kvCore campaign copy and instructions. In this document, I've got a video training, and it's going to take you to this series that's all about like a lot I just covered. I talk about creating call capture codes and using the smart number. I talk about understanding essential campaigns. I talk about configuring automatic call tasks. I talk about customizing and modifying and mastering campaigns in kvCore, where I talk about this campaign logic and creating a campaign from scratch in kvCore. So that link is in this resources page. In addition to the videos, I have like all my solid campaigns. Here's my task templates, my text templates, my email templates that I use for different campaigns that I have, and then I have directions like, here's how to do it. Here's how to create the Facebook buyer campaign. Do exactly this. Here's how to create my seller share campaign. Do exactly this. So there, it's all here for you. It's all here, right here for you. Okay.
Can I ask a question? Can you
Absolutely.
go back to that campaign where you just showed us about the triggers?
Yeah, one more time. Yep. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So
where it says start when, over on the left under campaign active, all those little notes, do you put those in there so you don't have to go into edit and you kind of can do a glance to see all the fields?
It's just, it's just, so when I'm looking at this, it just is kind of telling me everything I need to know about this campaign already. It's saying, hey, hey, Sylvia, your campaign here, it's called Conversion Default Buyer Campaign. And by the way, it's active. And Sylvia, did you know that this campaign is going to start when the status is new lead and it's a buyer? And did you know that, you know, as long as it sees these hashtags, this campaign won't run, you know? So it's just kind of reminding me, but I can kind of go in and click edit here to, you know, change things or just make sure I understand. And so I will tell you actually but kvCore did something in the last couple of months, and I don't really understand why they did it, but I'm trying to embrace it. And so here's what it is. Do you see here where it says here in this copy, it says starts when the status is new lead and then Facebook buyer is not removed. I don't understand that language.
It's on the top row too.
It doesn't, yeah, no, it does, yeah, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they changed it, but if you click on edit here, it says hashtag is not Facebook buyer. So here's how I kind of look at this. I look at this part, this part, the editing campaign part, and I say to myself, I just kind of read the logic to understand the logic. So I say, Sylvia, I talk to myself. I say, Sylvia, this campaign is going to start when the lead is new and it's for a buyer. So when the status comes in as a new lead, not a prospect, but when it comes in as a new lead, that's when this campaign is going to start. And it's for a buyer, meaning somebody looked at a property. That's when this campaign is going to start. But it's also going to start if the hashtag is not any of these things. It's also going to start if the hashtag is not Facebook buyer. Then it's going to start. But in the logic part of it, if the hashtag is Facebook buyer, it can't start. Okay, because I just told it not to. All right. So again, if you will just trust me here and take this and watch this this whole series about campaigns, it will help you understand the campaign logic better. Once you get a handle on this, you guys, if you force your brain to get it and you play with it and test it, then you'll be like, oh, kvCore is easy. I swear. Once you get a handle on that part, you will be a new person. I promise you. You will not be so mad at kvCore anymore once you get a handle on this. All right, so let's put this to use. Now, I already have my Facebook buyer campaign going. And so I just want to, because that was just a test, I just want to find, and I'm going to delete my campaign that I just did for you guys. I've already got a Facebook buyer campaign. So I'm going to just delete this. And now the other thing I'm going to do is I am going to go into my Smart CRM and I'm going to delete myself. I'm just going to delete myself as a lead because I want to show you how I'm going to test this now and use this campaign. All right. And then we'll be done. I haven't done a long training like this in a long time. I used to do these all the time, but campaigns, I knew they take a lot. It takes a lot to understand everything that kvCore is doing. So I'm going to go to my own Smart CRM and I'm in there as a test lead. I'm going to delete myself just so you can see how this will work. I'm going to, there's me. I'm going to delete myself. Yes, I want to delete me. And okay. And then the other thing, and then I'm going to refresh so that I'm not there anymore. Okay, I'm gone. And then I am going to go to my website and see how I'm still logged in here. I'm going to click on myself and I'm just going to, well, I guess I'm not. Okay, that's good. Oh, I'm logged out now. It doesn't know me anymore. We're good. Probably because I deleted myself as lead. So now it doesn't know me anymore and everything's happy. Okay. So now let's pretend we're going to put this baby to use. Nikki asked, what's going to make the lead come in as a seller? Well, if somebody requests their home valuation, they click on get your instant home value or what's my home worth and they put in their address. Ta-da! They're now a seller. Okay. All right. Somebody asks for the home valuation, they're identified as a seller. Someone looks at a property, they're identified as a buyer. So let's imagine Joe Blow out there somewhere that you don't know registers on your website for the first time because they looked at a property, they're going to come in as a buyer. Jane Doe out there in a different part of town, she registers on your website because she asks for her instant home value. She puts in her address and she becomes what's known as a seller lead. Okay. And that's how it works.
You know, when you were just showing the campaign library and the triggers, and it was not running on Facebook, it was only for a new default buyer. Well, then how after creating a Facebook hashtag Facebook, creating a campaign, how do you now get it connected to the campaign library or that trigger to now make it run on Facebook? Do you see what I'm saying?
Here we go. Ready? Yes,
Okay.
I do. And that's what we're going to cover next.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. But I get what you're saying. So here's one thing to think about. When I talk about the word campaign, I'm not talking about an advertising campaign. I'm not talking about now I'm automatically going to get Facebook leads because I created this hashtag inside my kvCore system. When I think about campaigns in kvCore, I'm thinking the word campaign means I created a set of actions that are going to come in the form of text messages, maybe tasks, maybe emails. These are a set of actions that are going to take place once I get the lead. That is a campaign. Okay. When I'm thinking about kvCore. All right. So now we are going to put this campaign we created, this Facebook buyer hashtag that we created in our new Facebook buyer campaign. We're going to put it to use, but I want to make sure before I do that, because I deleted my campaign, I want to show you my Facebook buyer campaign. And so I'm going to go to my real Facebook buyer campaign. So kvCore library is one thing. There's system campaigns, and just because they're in there doesn't mean they're activated or working. They have to be actually have to add them to your own library and activate them. So I want to make sure I say that because that gets confusing for people. So here's my Facebook buyer campaign. Super simple. And it activates when Facebook buyer tag is present or added for a buyer, and it's always going to run in this instance. It's just always going to run in this instance. As soon as it sees the hashtag Facebook buyer, that's when it's going to run. But remember, my conversion default buyer campaign is mandated not to run if it sees that hashtag. So it can't run they won't run at the same time. So I'm safe. All right. And so is my poor buyer. I was working in somebody's kvCore the other day, and he had 3 default buyer campaigns running. And so his people were getting like 3 different campaigns. I'm like, dude, no, let's clean that up for you. Okay. Alrighty. So here's my actions. You know, I've got it how I want it, and and it's active. My campaign's active, so it's going to work. But now I need to put it to use. So where am I naturally going to go? I'm naturally going to go to Facebook, because that's where I'm going to be posting something. I haven't created what I'm going to post yet. But if you really want to see how this all comes together, stay with me. All right. So I'm going to go, I got my Facebook open, and now I'm going to go to Lead Engine. Okay. And I'm going to promote a listing. I can, so you have to know what your state rules are, and you have to know, can I promote somebody else's listing, whether they're in a different brokerage or in my same brokerage? If I don't have my own listings to promote, what can I do? You have to know that, and what you need to know, that's up to you. It's not my job to know that for you. Okay. Because you know your own MLS and state, and you're going to have to find that out yourself. In my state, I can promote anybody else's listing that I want to, any other brokerage's listing that I want to. I just have to mention who the listing brokerage is. So I'm going to go here. That's why I live in Michigan in the cold. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go here to listings, and I'm going to find a listing that I want to promote. I guess I'm going to take this time, since I'm feeling good today. I don't know. I lost a pound, and maybe I feel so much more energy because I lost 1 pound. Okay. But I'm going to show you one of my favorite things on your website. When you set up your website settings, if you've taken my little class, my little YouTube about setting up your website, there's a part in there about setting up your SEO areas and keywords and all that jazz. But I've got these areas that I cover. We'll just do Muskegon. And it's great. It gives you good ideas for stuff. So it shows me, well, in Muskegon, this is the most popular listing. This is the most expensive listing. And this is the least expensive listing. Okay. And I was thinking actually of buying this house, and I couldn't even go in. I'm like, no, not going to do it. I'm not that skilled. But anyway, okay. So it gives you good ideas. Look, it also, gives you the different neighborhoods, but notice they're townships. Okay. But it's kind of cool. So I'm going to click on Norton Shores actually, because that's a good area. Let's see what Norton Shores says. Okay. So again, Norton Shores is showing the most popular listing, most expensive listing, and the least expensive listing. Okay. So it gives you ideas. So let's say I want to promote one of these. This is fun. So I'm going to see the most expensive listing. So I'm not logged in my website, but I'm allowed to look because I've got my website settings set up this way. The default is that I can look at one property without having to register. Okay. So this is lovely. It's right on Lake Michigan. It's $1 bajillion. It's really not that much. Oh, it's making me register now. But anyway, it's lovely. I want to promote this one. I think that's the MLS ID right there. I'm going to grab that MLS ID. All right. So let's say that's the one I want to promote. And I'm just going to, here under listings, I'm just going to put that listing ID in here just so I can check it out. Here it is. Make sure it's not, pending or whatever. Lovely. Okay. So this is the property I want to promote. And it is, was it the most expensive? I think this is the most expensive in Norton Shores, right? So that's how I can promote this. Like, check out the most expensive property in Norton Shores this week or whatever. I can have fun with that. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so let's see, I'm gonna look at some information about it. Okay, 100 feet of private beach frontage, lovely. It's 2-bedroom, 2-bath cabin, lovely. Recently restored, great. Open floor plan, great. Ooh, jacuzzi, bathtub, I'll take it. State-of-the-art fire suppression system. Okay, whatever. Yay. Okay, we don't really have a fire problem in Michigan, but okay, it's fine. So now I'm gonna promote this property, and I'm gonna click on lead engine. And from lead engine, I'm gonna create a squeeze page. So here are my options. I have just one domain that I personally work in and pay for with kvCore. So, because I only have one MLS I work in. And so I'm going to start building with that domain. And I've got these options: multi-property, single property, seller squeeze, market report. I'm going to create a single property squeeze page. I'm promoting one property. I'm going to stick that listing ID right there. There it is. That's the listing ID. I'm going to put this on Facebook. So I'm going to type in FB for the source. I always use FB. You could use Facebook and spell it out, but whatever you choose, stick with that one thing all the time. So when you go to your business analytics and you're looking about where your sources are coming from, you don't want to have one that says FB and another that says Facebook. You just want one thing for Facebook. Okay, this is where hashtags come in. Hashtags are going to go here. I want, what campaign do I want to start? I want my Facebook buyer campaign to start. Do I have to have my Facebook buyer campaign start? No, I could just the default buyer campaign start. It's not the end of the world. But the reason I might want my custom campaign to start is because I want to tell the person, hey, you clicked on this property on Facebook and I'm the one that posted it and now we're best friends. Okay, I want to just create some familiarity sooner. And so that's why I'm using a custom campaign. So this hashtag is going to make that happen for me. So I'm going to type in the hashtag Facebook buyer. There it is. So now when somebody clicks on this link I'm about to create, Facebook buyer will attach to that lead and the lead will come into my CRM and the CRM will see the Facebook buyer hashtag. And guess what's going to happen? My Facebook buyer hashtag, my Facebook buyer campaign is going to start and my default buyer campaign is not going to start. The other thing I like to do when I'm promoting a specific listing is I like to put in what the address is, just so that when the lead comes in, especially if it's my own listing, but even if it's not, I just like to know where I got the leads, and it's just easier for me to see. So, and then also especially if it is my listing, and I start getting a lot of leads from it, and like I drop the price on the listing, or the listing goes on off the market and comes back on the market, I want to contact every single person that inquired about that property, so I can follow up with them and say, hey, I noticed you like that property, and guess what, we just dropped the price. Or I noticed you checked out this property and it sold, but guess what, I just listed the house across the street, maybe you're interested in that. I don't know, so 59, what was it, Harbor Lake Harbor. Okay, unit 1. So I'm just gonna, you can do whatever you want here, but 59 Lake Harbor 1, I'm gonna put. Okay, so that's just my own little note for myself. That's the hashtag that I'm gonna see when it comes in. And this is super important when you're creating squeeze pages. See this default? I want to immediately get the lead. I don't want to get the lead after they've looked around on my website with several pictures or a second property. I want them to just have to register, because guess what? I want the lead. So if they want to see that property, they're going to have to register. Okay, that's how I feel. And I'm generating the link, and I've got 2 links here, a long link and a short link. They are the exact same. Yes, okay.
Another agent.
What now?
Where would you put that it's listed by another agent, or would you?
I will. I have to. Well, I don't have to say it's listed. In Michigan, my state rules are that I just have to say who the listing brokerage is, and I'm not there yet. I'm just creating the link. I haven't posted this yet. All
right.
But that's a good question.
Okay, the hashtag Facebook buyer, is that the one that you created, which you had the word test behind it? Would that be the exact same identical one that you would put there?
Yeah. So I created I named my campaign Facebook buyer campaign. I put test, just to show, just for myself, and I didn't delete it, but my real Facebook buyer campaign is there, and it is going to start. That campaign is going to start when it sees this hashtag.
Okay, how about that should be the campaign name that I created right there, and not just that one. It should be whatever.
You can name it whatever you're going to know it as when you're looking in your thing. Okay. What matters is the hashtag. What matters is the hashtag, because the hashtag is what's going to trigger a campaign to start automatically.
Okay.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes, Kay.
Do you keep a list of your campaigns anywhere, or do you recommend that, or am I stepping out of line again?
No, you're talking about keeping a list of your squeeze pages that you create?
Or something, how do you keep up with all this stuff that you develop? Okay,
so again, I'm going to go to my resources page, and I have this little handy dandy thing called a kvCore setup and lead gen template. That you can follow the directions on. Like, you could set your entire website and lead gen system and campaigns up by following each section of this handy dandy template. But I'm going to save you some time. All you got to do here is you got to make a copy of this template so you can work in it and type in it, because right now I own it. You can just view it and you can click on links in here, but if you wanted to edit it, you'd have to go file and make a copy and save it to your own Google Drive. Okay. And once you made a copy of it, guess what? At the bottom, I have these different tabs, and each tab is a different section. And I'm going to go to my lead gen tools section. And in this section, I've got this basically as a spreadsheet that you can create, watch the directions here, create squeeze page links to post on social media, email, blog posts, and print to generate leads. And you can save them here. These are just examples, showing you examples of what you would do here to save your own squeeze pages, so that you have a reference guide to what you did, so that you can remember what hashtags did you use, what source did you use, where did you post it, or what, where can you post it, and what is the link?
Awesome.
Okay, so
put it all together too.
Yeah, so it's all in one place. So you can take this and you can see my examples. If I wanted to use this, I could, save what I'm doing here as a reference guide, because nowhere in kvCore you can't see like a whole big list of all your hashtags and to see where you use them, and you can't see anywhere of your your links that you created. They're not saved anywhere. You have to save them somewhere. And so you can create your own thing, whether it's your own spreadsheet somewhere, your own document somewhere to save. So here's one you can use if you want to use the one I created here. You guys are doing so good. All right. So these two links are exactly the same thing. And so I really only need to save this short link. Let me show you what I mean. I'm saving the short link, and now I'm going to put that short link in the URL here and just look at it and test it and make sure it works. It's going to require my information. I'm not going to log in yet because I want to show you something. But so here is, you can see that short link automatically converted to this long link, which is the same thing. It's the same thing. It's telling the story of the squeeze page, and the story is that this is the domain that it's created from. The squeeze page is created from. This is the MLS ID. This is the source. This is a hashtag that is going to be added. Here's another hashtag that's going to be added. So my Facebook buyer, and then this address is going to also come in just for identification. It's not going to do anything except be added to the lead so I can see it. And then the timing is 1, which is immediately. Okay. So now I'm going to post this on Facebook. Now, I don't care where you post it, on your business page, a personal page, in a group, although, a Facebook group, put it in Messenger to somebody. I don't know. But I'm going to post this on my Facebook business page. So I'm going to go to my business page, and I'm going to go here to publishing tools. This is the newer look of Facebook. So if you still have the older look of Facebook, you might see a menu at the top that shows you publishing tools. So I'm on the newer update. So I'm going to go here, just find publishing tools on your Facebook business page. Now I'm going to create a post. I'm going to click create post here from my publishing tools. And it's going to show me that I can also post on Instagram, and I don't want to do that right now. I just want to post just on Facebook. And I'm going to paste this link here, and I'm just going to wait for the link to preview. And there it is. It is lovely. And then I'm going to say some lovely things about this. And I'm going to say, Lake Michigan home for sale. And I'm going to create some bullet points here. I like these little emojis. You click on the little happy face to get emojis, because people like emojis.
You can call it the most expensive house on Lake Michigan, or that would be negative, wouldn't it? Or
it's not the most expensive house on Lake Michigan. It's the most expensive house in Norton Shores.
Okay, all right.
I mean, people do like that. I mean, they want to see, well, what is the most expensive home, and or what is the most popular? What is, I can promote this however I want. It's up to you. I'm not in charge of that. I'm just showing you how to do whatever you want to do. There it is. It just looks a little different. So Lake Michigan, I want to say 100 feet of beachfront. And I'm just going to take this wave because I don't have time. I'm not going to keep that as, and then was 2 bed, 2 bath, and something else wonderful, open floor plan. So say whatever wonderful things you want to say about it. Most expensive home listed in Norton Shores this week. And then I'll do another fun emoji. Let's see. We'll do fire. We'll do, okay, whatever. All right. And then because I have to follow my rules in my state. Okay, let's pretend I clicked on this link, by the way. I did click on this link on Facebook. Let's pretend I'm about to post it, but let's see. Okay. Okay, so it's Keller Williams Harbortown is the name of the brokerage. And so I'm going to do my good duty and say, contact me for a private showing. And I can be better with this. I just don't have time. And then I put in parentheses here, listed by or listing courtesy of whatever. And then now I'm good. I'm compliant. And then I'm not going to get messages. I don't want messages. I just want to get the lead. And I'm going to hit publish. And that's step one. So I've published this. Maybe I've shared it on my personal page. Maybe I've shared it to a group, a neighborhood group or whatever. But now what I want to do is I want to boost this myself. Like I want to throw a little bit of money at this and see what happens. You don't have to, but I'm going to. So I'm going to click boost post. And I don't want to click on automatic. I don't want Facebook to decide on the objectives for me because my only objective is to send people to my website. I want people to click on the link so I get the lead. That's my only goal. All right. And in this particular situation, you can decide what your goals are. I'm just telling you what my goals are. My goals are not better than your goals. Now I do want to add a button to my post and the button is usually going to be a default of send message. I don't want Facebook messages. I have no desire to get Facebook messages. I want people to click on my website and learn more. I want them to go to my website and I want to generate the lead. That's just me. Now I have to choose special ad category of housing because I'm a real estate agent. And basically, even if I tried to, find my lost cat and put an ad in there, it would still require me to do that. So, because I'm a real estate agent, and so I might as well just say it. All right. And then location. Because I'm a real estate agent and I'm posting on some sort of ad on Facebook, I can't choose gender or age. I have to follow fair housing laws, but I can choose location. So let me click this one up and I'm going to go ahead and choose Norton Shores, which is the town that this listing is in. And I will include the radius. I mean, no, people don't live in the middle of Lake Michigan, but but I do want this to go out a bit. So I'll do that much, let's say 40 miles around. Great, fine. And then I've got these interests. You can identify interests. And I find that whether I'm looking for buyers or sellers, the following 3 interests seem to work pretty well. Home improvement, house hunting, and Zillow. Are already there. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm happy with that audience. I'm going to save that audience. And then automatic placements, where I'm going to let Facebook decide where to place this ad. That's fine with me. I'm just going to throw $5 at this. I'm going to run this ad for 2 days. You can do whatever you want. If it was my own listing, I'd probably run it a few more days and throw more money at it, like $25 maybe. It was my own listing. But I'm just showing you, I just want maybe a few leads from this, see what happens. I can always reboost it if I like it. Next is I've created from my business Facebook account. I've created a Facebook pixel that I've added to my kvCore website already, and it's working. If you guys want to know about how to do that, all you have to do here is go to your kvCore website and look at the learning portal and go into your kvCore support articles and type in Facebook pixel. And there's an article about what to do and how to do it. It's not necessary. You don't have to have that set up to do this. Okay. But I have one, so I'm going to choose that. Okay. And you don't have to have that though. Don't let that hold you back if you don't have that yet. Okay. And then I'm going to boost it. So now kvCore will review it. And then once it's approved, it will start. And ta-da, then I'll start getting leads. Now, let's go. Since I am my own lead, I already came in as a lead. I want to show you how it works. I heard my phone, because I get notifications when I get a lead from kvCore. And let's find me. Remember, like pretend I posted that link on Facebook, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to see the most expensive home in Norton Shores that's on Lake Michigan. I want to see how much it is. I want to know about it. It looks cool to me. I'm feeling like I want to click on things on Facebook." Okay. And so here's the lead comes in and look what happens. So the lead comes in, she clicked on it from Facebook. This was this two hashtags came in, Facebook buyer, this address came in. That's how I set up the squeeze page. And then guess what else happened? This campaign started, Facebook buyer. Now I have a lender added to my kvCore, and he has his own little campaign. As soon as I get a buyer lead, his one email will go out the next day. And that's fine with me. I'm good with that. So I let him do that. So that campaign started, and these hashtags are there. And it's lovely. I can see what's happening. I'm good. Ta-da! You're going to have to play with it and test it. Okay. So
I think your early advice was you have to go into here every day, whether it's from your phone, your desk. It should be part of your morning ritual.
We have another person on our revenue share group and our team, and I went through her kvCore with her, and she had been paying for some leads like Property Boost or something with kvCore, and so she had leads, but they weren't on search alerts. She hadn't done anything with them. So what's the point? You know, there was hardly even campaigns going. So you have to, but she hadn't set up anything in kvCore to really happen. So, you know, that's great that you want leads. Like, it's super fun to get leads, but do you deserve them? You know?
Right. I think for me, I've heard in several trainings, the money's in the follow-up, which is where, and I have to get over the fact that I'm not pestering people.
You do have to get over that, Kate. You have to get over that. So I think, you know, that you have to stay in sales training. Like I was a teacher, and I was a journalist, and you know, before I kind of started in sales, and then I started in sales. But yeah, I started in Mary Kay, you guys. I sold Mary Kay for 8 years. And I had to just change my mindset that I had something good to offer somebody. I was offering them something nice, and I was offering them something good. And you know what? Maybe they want to hear from me. Maybe they want, that wasn't my business. That was their business. My business was to do my job and be available. And then I started learning, you know, I changed my mindset with that, and I started selling cars. And through like selling Mary Kay and then selling cars, I realized what my job was, and I still believe my job is that now. And my job is not only that with selling houses, it's my job that I do for free for you guys. And that is to help people believe that they deserve good things. Okay, so that is my job. My job is to help you all and help everybody else and help myself believe that we all deserve good things. And so, you know, I had inquired about, we have this little office that we just started opening up here just to get together sometimes. We don't need to have an office, obviously, but we decided to do it. My friend Sierra and a couple of other agents. And I wanted to get better internet here. So I called, you know, Comcast, because Xfinity is the internet that's in this building mostly. And I asked somebody else in the building, hey, do you have a contact over there? And so he gave it to me, and he emailed me. And so I called the guy and I left a message, and man, he called me right back. And then he emailed me and said, hey, are we still on for 1 o'clock? And here's a calendar of it. Yes, we are. And then he texted me. He's like, hey, I'm going to be calling you in 15 minutes. Okay, great. You know what? I loved that. And all I did was inquire. Like, maybe I don't even know if I want internet, but I inquired, and he followed up. No, it's just like my insurance guy. I, have a couple of cars I insure, and my, and stuff. I've got a few insurance products, but my guy, he never follows up with me. And, if some other insurance guy, or girl called me up and wanted to offer me something amazing, I'd be like, all right. You know why? Because I never hear from him. I don't have any loyalty, I don't know if that helps you. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions about this whole process? Do you feel like you have enough resources and homework to start playing and get more confident? I hope. Once you get this down and you get your system set up, you guys, it won't be so hard. It won't be such a full-time job. You just got to dial in the systems. I would start with Facebook buyer campaign. Build yourself a Facebook buyer campaign. Make it nice. Do the exact thing I did here, and then go in and start working with those leads and make sure they're in good search alerts. Call them if you have numbers. Send them weekly emails, whatever you got to do, and see what you can make happen. Start there.
Wait, Lucy, where should I check if my boost result after I boosted? Well, your boost results, you know, what you're gonna do here, Lucy, you're gonna have to go in here and see in your Facebook business page. I'm gonna look and see what I boosted recently. Did I? Oh, here's one. So I boosted this one a little bit ago. I boosted it and it tells me like my performance, like how many post clicks, you know, how many other clicks. Let's see, it's 1794 an upload. So I got like, it looks like I got 144 total clicks. Okay, but how many leads did I actually get? I mean, that's fun. I'm glad, you know, people are seeing me. I reached up to 803 people, but how many leads did I get? Well, I know that I put this in here. So I'm going to go into my kvCore and I am going to search that hashtag of 1790. So because that was the address and I know I used that because that's what I always do. I'm going to go to my smart CRM here. And you know, you have to play around with the different types of listings, whether they're your own, whether you're featuring a neighborhood, whether you're featuring a price point, whether you're featuring like a highly desired, you know, feature or something. You just have to play around with it. So when I'm searching for a hashtag in my CRM, I have to use the little hashtag symbol to tell my CRM that I'm searching for specifically a hashtag. But when I'm creating a hashtag, I don't use the number sign to create the hashtag. I just type in what I want for the hashtag. I don't use a number sign. But I'm telling the CRM right now that I'm searching for a hashtag in particular. So I got 8 leads.